Hello, everyone, and welcome to day 22 and a shift in the view. I changed my background for a few reasons. Let me know what you like better. And I will do my best to comply. Otherwise, thank you so much for coming. As I set us up for the practice, take a moment to come into your regular breath. Keep your props nearby, strap, block, bolster, whatever you think you might need for the practice. We will be doing a 60-minute Hatha Yin type of practice. So Hatha in the sense that we are doing a right, left, sun, moon, which is what Ha and Ta or Tha means in Sanskrit. But we will also be holding some of the positions, not all of them. But of course, whatever your body needs, if you feel you need a little bit longer hold for any certain pose, feel free to hold, to stay, or whatever you may need. Your body is your teacher. I am your mere guide, and as I continue to speak, allow your mind to rotate through your body, allow your consciousness to release from this compartment that is up here, so heady, and allow it just to sink into your body. Allow your consciousness to rotate with the breath, like the breath is a wave going through the body. Hello, Mr. Gary Gray. So lovely to see you. Hope all is well in the Philippines. As you continue to breathe, allow the balloon in your belly to expand in all directions and dimensions. At the same time, your vertebral column is lifting, creating space between each vertebrae. Allow that breath to now expand from the depth of the belly, where you feel that balloon expanding, now into the rib cage. So feeling that extension, that side movement, intercostal muscles participating in each stretch. And continue to breathe, that wave going through the body, carried by the oxygen, but also the skeleton, the muscles, the organs, everything starts to follow that same rhythmic law. And as your breath controls the pace of respiration, the other systems naturally begin to slow down as well. Find your natural breath, really focusing on the balloon in your belly at your primary stage, the barrel in your ribs at the secondary stage, and at the tertiary level, feeling the lightness in all of the thoracic, clavicular, facial cavities. Feel an openness, a lightness in the crown of the skull, and continue to breathe very deeply. 3 distinct destinations that your breath comes into. Feeling the wave through the belly, the ribs, chest, the throat, the face, the crown of the head, and expanding outward into your greater aura. With every breath, everything expands, becoming softer, becoming lighter. At any time, of course, if you need to adjust your legs, feel free to do so. If sitting in this way is not comfortable, take the wall or adjust yourself by lifting, putting a block underneath your hips. Even if you do have quite open hips, that's quite nice just to get that extra little stretch. And it doesn't have to be a block, it can be a book, a towel rolled up. Anything that helps to lift you and just to change the level, allowing the hips to come up and the knees to come down. Before we begin, I'm going to introduce you to an Ujjayi breathing technique. This is a very deep psychic breath. And this is a breath we should practice throughout all of our asana. And essentially what we're doing is we're contracting the glottis in the throat, both on the inhale and the exhale. Visualize that you are cleaning your glasses or cleaning a window or fogging up a window, so that type of feeling. Just do that with your mouth closed, okay? So demonstration, and you may not be able to hear me with this current audio. Coming soon to a yoga class near you, better audio. So taking a nice deep breath, and even you can imagine that it's coming in from the throat. Okay, so follow that breath, keep going. It's almost like a soft snore or this sound of an ocean. So really slow the body down, turn that into its own meditative sound. And of course, I have silence to avoid any further audio issues, but please, whatever soundscape is pleasing to thine ear, do play for yourself. So staying in this Ujjayi breath, if you'd like to set an intention for the class, whether it be physical, mental, spiritual, or otherwise, whether it be for the class, for the rest of the day, or indeed for this shift that we are going through as a humanity. If you find your mind wandering during the practice, return to this intention, use it as a mantra, turn it into a one simple, single, positive sentence. And return to the breath. With every inhale, the balloon lifts and lengthens, expanding. With every exhale, we try to extend the breath to be twice as long as our inhalation. And follow this pattern, inhaling. And with every exhale, extending to be twice as long as your inhalation. On your next exhalation, releasing the hands from the knees, inhaling, palms facing up, fingers stretching, wrists opening, eyes of the elbows opening, shoulders down, coming all the way up, touching the tips of the fingers, shoulders even here melting down the spine, and exhale. Turning the palms to face downwards and just starting to integrate the body with the breath, touching the tips of the fingers to the ground, and again, palms facing upwards. Remember the Ujjayi breathing technique. It's almost like a Darth Vader type of breath. And one last one, inhaling, arms up. And this time as we exhale, let's bring the left fingers to the outside of the right temple. Find the soft spot, pressing in, tenting the right hand or flattening the palm. We always have the same warm-up. It's important to warm up the neck and the arms, chin to the chest, nodding that positive yes. Or rather, we always have some sort of warm-up that caters to the neck and the shoulders first. Inhaling, what we do to one side, we will always do to the opposite side, finding that soft spot, tenting or flattening your palms, chin into the chest. Feeling the lengthening of the muscles through the neck, all of those minor muscles in the face as well. Inhaling, arms out to side. Hold them here for a moment and really try to find balance. Looking out, make sure that they're not too far too back. Your shoulders are not scrunched. Taking just a moment here, we're going to come into a Viloma Pranayama, similar to what we did if you were in yesterday's class. So inhaling, bending the arms up into a cactus position. We're going to use our head to turn and use that opportunity to inhale in a staircase type of step. So Viloma Pranayama will have an inhale for 2 seconds or 3 seconds, whatever you're comfortable with, and then hold for the same amount of time. In, two, hold, two. In, two, hold, two. It's the same with the exhalation. I will guide you through it. The only difference is we are now tilting our head, and when we hold, we stop moving our head. So we're going to inhale 2 and move our head, stop, hold. Inhale 2, move. Stop, hold. Inhale to move. Now, when that becomes your expanse, exhale, stop, move. Exhale, move, and stop, hold. Exhale, stop, hold. 2x, 2, hold. Good. Now the same thing on the opposite side. Keep those arms up. So again, inhale, and this time I will do it with you. Let's repeat the same thing again, both sides. And one more time, 3 times the charm. Beautiful. And you feel that in the shoulders. Let's take a big inhale, lengthening out to the side, stretching, a bit of a back bend in there as well. How long your inhale and exhale, left over right. Let's bring the arms into a nice hug. Walk the fingers back to the shoulder blades, wherever they comfortably find themselves. And then exhale, rounding the spine, chin into the chest, lean back. And inhale up, same thing. Opposite arm on top. Exhaling, grabbing the shoulder blades, walking the fingers, and then rounding the spine. Nice deep exhalation. Let's do one more time. Inhale. This time let's have a hold. So inhale, if it's 4 seconds, hold for 4, both the breath and the arms. And whatever your exhale is, double. So exhale, if it was 4, inhale, then make it 8. Exhale, nice and slowly. Bring the arms around, crossing again. Opposite arm on top, grasping the shoulders, and hold. And then continue to come down. Once you've extended and exhaled completely, then hold the breath for the same amount of the exhale. Again, inhaling, if it's 4 seconds, might be 5 this time. Expand your breath, and now hold, whether it's 4, 5, 6 or more. And exhale, coming forward, opposite hand on top, grasping the shoulders, nice deep exhale. Hold the shoulders. And continue the exhale as you're rounding. Once you find you're completely empty, hold the breath for another few seconds. Same amount of time as your exhale was. Good. And inhale, big breath, arms up. And exhale, arms down. Interlace the fingers, shoulders down, lifting the forearms. And once you've found your edge, let's exhale, starting to lean forward with a nice straight back. We're going to hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2,
And 1. 0 is a number. Most magical number ever, actually. When you're ready, very slowly start to drop the arms. The weight will automatically start to lift you. Keep the chin down, rolling up from the base of the spine, the lumbar spine, the thoracic, slowly coming up. The last thing to lift is your cervical spine, your head, your chin, and take a moment just to stretch out the body, placing the hands behind us, fingers pointing towards the feet. And let's inhale, lift. So if you've got some tightness in the hips, this is going to really feel it. You might just want to also kind of just rock side to side, a bit of a froggy-ish kind of walk, and get out any kind of kinks that might have found themselves in there. And we're going to focus quite a bit on the legs today. As many of us have been sitting all day, and we're preparing for a nice, wonderful, long Easter weekend. Everyone, most of us. Okie dokie. Let's start with the left leg bent nice and tight into the groin, heel in. And of course, use your blocks. Keep them near anyways. We'll come into a few positions where we'll need them in a moment. However you find yourself, we are relaxed but active. We're going to inhale, tilt the torso towards the bent leg. Inhale again, arms up, shoulders down, tips of the fingers touching. And exhale, keep the arms lengthening open and bring the hands to either the toes, the knee, and the elbow, or the shoulder and the elbow. Find that connection and then focus on lifting through the rib cage, through the side body, feeling again that barreling outwards. And feel yourself also being pushed back, and you'll feel the oblique muscles start to open, chest start to open. Keep the shoulder down. All these movements happening simultaneously. And if you've got those two, feeling like you've found your edge, you've kind of creeped into those nooks and crannies, then you can slowly start to come down. And again, it's not helpful to come down if we're starting to cave in. Wherever we find, and it changes day to day. Life changes. Different situations might affect us. So just be flexible with how flexible you are. Be observant, be accepting. And on your next inhale, let's keep that arm coming down. Turn the torso, belly on top of the thigh, and exhale, coming all the way down, knee to the nose. And we'll hold here just for a few deep breaths. We won't hold these for a substantial amount of time. We'll come into our first yin pose in just a moment. And on your next inhale, lifting all the way up, fingers pointing away from us. And if you do have wrist issues, you can always come down onto the forearm. Otherwise, let's inhale, lift. Keep the chin tucked into the chest. Keep the hips pressing forward. And exhale down. Bring the bent leg up. Just starting to make a few circles or even half circles. Going back and forth. Kind of starting to open that leg. And if you feel that you're quite flexible in that leg, then plant it and kind of hang on to it here. Inhale, arms up, shoulders down. And if you're feeling like that's still for you, stay here. Otherwise, we're going to come into Marichasana A, another sitting position. There are 4 variations of this. Inhaling up, shoulders down, and exhale, forward fold. Keep this knee nicely tucked in. And if you do want to try, you can always adjust the leg to be out a little bit further. That makes the
angle a little bit easier to get in, but just feel those subtleties behind the knees and breathing. If you want to come into a full Marichyasana A, then of course we would take that inhale, swim or fly across the sky, binding your hands and coming into that position behind you. Now you can use a strap or a a scarf, a belt, anything that is going to help you get into it, anything that's got a bit of a limb-like lengthening structure. We'll stay here just another breath. And when you're ready, inhaling up. And let's bring that bent leg. Again, keep the strap if you need it nearby. Otherwise, we're just going to start to lengthen that leg up. Starting to lift. Letting it go, feeling a little bit of a bounce in the leg. We're going to leave it open to the side. And again, just as far as it comfortably goes. If it's got a bit of a bend in it, use a strap. And just let it really swing. It's got to have that bounciness in it. You don't want to hold on to any tension. Let it out to one side. And inhale, switching hands to the opposite side. You can just play with that space for a moment. And when you're ready, we're going to cross the leg over, coming into a reverse pigeon position. This will be our first yin hold. We will hold it just for a moment being 60 seconds in this first hold. So when you're ready, inhale up, shoulders down, and exhale, coming forward. Now, trying to keep the knee bent, open to the side. In any forward bend, we develop a physical sensation of submission and a mental sensation of acceptance. Breathing into the upper backs of your lungs, that is where the core of your lung tissue resides. Trying to keep the hips nice and balanced. We're in the last few breaths here. And when you're ready, slowly rounding up, starting with the lower back, slowly vertebrae by vertebrae, coming all the way up. Once the head's up, planting the flat foot, sole side, the outer edge of the leg. Make sure the knees and the toes are lined up. Make sure the femur of the bent leg is really pulling into your chest. And this may be quite comfortable here. You might find that is your edge. Otherwise, we're going to inhale, coming into an easy twist. We will have that opportunity for a full Matsyendrasana in a moment. Otherwise, for now, Ardha Matsyendrasana. So opposite elbow to the opposite knee. Pushing, twisting. You can use the opposite back arm as a pillar. Otherwise, you can also loop the arms through. Finding binding either with your scarf or strap. And when you're here, just let go. Just release. We're not going to hold this for quite 1 minute, but a few solid breaths here to feel the phase changing. On your next exhale, release. You might want to turn just a little bit to the opposite side. Oh yeah. do to one side, we always want to do to the other, and provide a little bit of a counter pose opportunity as well. Let's unfold this leg and open the straight leg. We're going to kind of come into a bit of a ninja lift. And if this is where you're comfortable, this is a fine and dandy ninja. So feel comfortable here. You can even start to go into a bit of a prayer, half prayer, elbow into the knee. That's an important connection to make. Otherwise, keeping this leg nice and straight, we just want to lift slightly, trying to keep the foot flat, and again, this foot nice and flat. Just a bit of a lift, again, feeling that bounce, breathing deeply. And exhale down. Now this leg, if you're comfortable, will drop. Coming into an Ardha Virasana, so a half hero position. Half because we are just bent on the side. Virasana as opposed to Vajrasana because the leg is on the outside. Now again, if you are completely uncomfortable here or it's not even happening for you, sit up on one block, lift your hips, even starting in a stool or a lower bit of a chair position. Okay. Otherwise, starting to find your space. Inhale, arms up, shoulders down. We're going to come into a back bend here. So exhale as we drop. Let the hands walk you back. And if you feel this is where your edge might be today, stay here. Make sure the femurs are parallel. And if you'd like to come into a deeper stretch, let the arms come down to the side. And we're going to hold this for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Remembering the balloon in your belly, remembering the Ujjayi breathing technique. One more deep breath here. And when you're ready, tucking the chin into the chest, coming up, and we're going to lift up onto that front leg and into a front lunge. So walk the feet out, or you can find that 90-degree position and then slowly exceed the 90 degrees, walking out, and exhale, let the front hip really drop down. You can use a block here and just kind of hang out. We're going to stay here for a minute. So wherever you are, get comfortable. Of course, I'm using my phone just as a reminder to time us. Sometimes we can tend to stay in these positions for a little bit longer, perhaps. Finding whichever position is comfortable for you. Now, we're not coming into a deeper pigeon position today, so if you did want to have the knee roll out to the side, I wouldn't come right down into a pigeon itself, though. That's a pretty intense posture, and we're only going to hold this for a minute before we continue to move through our bit of a Hatha Vinyasa with periodic yin holds. That's a little bit more than halfway. Keep the back of your lungs opening, breathing into the back of your lungs, into the back of the body. One more breath here on your next inhale, lifting and shifting the weight, coming forward and getting a nice deep stretch in the front leg. So lifting the toes, bringing the head down. And again, make sure your angles are okay here. We might want to stay here for a few moments as well. So when you're ready, let the head hang down. We'll stay here for 1 minute. If your knees are sore,
put padding under the knees or roll the mat over. Let everything go as you breathe. Be in your body and know that there is medicine in your breath. There is medicine in this practice. Finding millimeters of space and taking it. Finding stillness and relaxation in the poses, but also paying attention to when there's an opportunity to reclaim back parts of your body. One more breath here, and when you're ready, let's inhale, lifting. And we're going to drop that long leg down to the side so the toes are pointing forward and coming up into a half gate position. So take a moment here, make sure that everything is squared. We become like constellations in the way that we angle ourselves. So making sure the edge of the leg is nice and strong. If your right leg is out, let's bring our left arm up, coming into a twist, pushing into that hand, both hands. And exhale, switching hands, opposite arm up, opening the chest. You may even want to come into an extended back bend or extended arm fold. And if you're comfortable, you can bring this opposite arm into the inner edge of your thigh and deepen the twist. Otherwise, inhaling, bring the arm back. And exhaling it down to the outside of the ankle. And inhaling up. Pushing the hips forward, keeping the outer edge of the foot very active. Breathing here for just a moment. And let's exhale, bring that upper arm down. Both arms down and bring the back leg up. We'll come into a nice hold here. So if you feel that this is sufficient pose, wonderful. Otherwise, introducing the opposite arm. We won't do too much movement here. Trying to lift, lengthen, and when you're ready, let's try to find binding. So bringing the hand back, trying to find a balance. Using your eyes to look at a place on the ground if you find the balancing is a bit difficult. It's a very good study position. Balancing is good for concentration, good for focus, good for attention span. And exhale, arm down. Let's come into shoelace. So dropping the knee behind the next, pushing them together, opening the feet. And exhale, letting the hips come down. They don't have to come all the way down. They can be sitting, they can be hanging up in the air. Wherever you comfortably find yourself, we're going to hold this for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's shift the weight back and unravel the legs, coming back through a seated position, soles of the feet together into a little bit of a butterfly. Let the legs hover as we prepare to do the same thing on the opposite side. So remembering which leg you started with. Doing the opposite side now. So when you're ready, in my case right, bring it in nice and tight.
Variety of seated positions here. As long as the hips are elevated, the knees are relatively down, turning the upper body towards the torso. Inhale, arms up, shoulders down, tips of the fingers touching. Exhaling, elbow to the knee, possibly you're just getting this initial star-like positioning, but feel that power and that constellation wherever you are in this pose. How important, how intricately your joints connect, how powerful they manifest into this creative system that they call you. Keep those same 3 motions. So we're lifting, lengthening, opening, being pushed back, keeping the shoulders stacked, and exhale slowly, lowering down if that's where you go. Breathing deeply, feeling the obliques lengthening, feeling the lower body weigh yourself down, feeling the upper body lifting. On your next exhale, turning the torso, belly on the thigh, knee to the nose, nose to the knee. Take a moment here, feel the wave of breath along your spine. Next inhale, nice wide, long rise. Palm down, fingers pointing away from you. Inhale, lifting, hips facing forward. Squeeze your bum, tuck your chin into your chest. Do not let your neck hang back, risking injury. And exhale down. Very good. Let's take this bent leg and start to make some circles with it. Trying to open the hips and shoulders. That's the culprit. That's the target. That's where stress goes, and that's what we need to excavate out. So if this is comfortable here, you can just kind of wiggle around. You can introduce the knee a little bit. Otherwise, Marichyasana A on the opposite side. Sitting nice and tall. Inhale, arms up, shoulders down, adjusting the foot if you need. And exhaling. And finding binding. We're going to hold this just for a few breaths. I know it's not accessible for all, but again, honoring what our bodies are able to do ensures that tomorrow we will surpass what we have done today. If we try to overexceed or we don't respect our current situations, then very often we will lose them. On your next inhale, let's come up. Use your strap if you need. We're going to bring this leg into a nice straight position. So inhale, lengthening, lifting. Use your strap if you need. Start to feel that bounciness or the playfulness, the lightness. And you may observe most likely one side to be a little bit more open than the other. Nothing wrong with that. That's how we live our lives. Well, nothing wrong with that. That's why we're here, to bring balance back into that. So opening the leg, and again, finding a bit of, you can use a strap. Say, I'm feeling a little stiff in my old bones. So just, and if you are feeling stiff, that's fine. Except that we've been sitting in chairs for 14 hours for the last 3 weeks. And our bodies are not designed to do that. So exhale, crossing it over to the opposite side. Start to feel that long, nice lengthening on the outside. And exhale, dropping the leg down into a half pigeon or reverse figure 4 position. So again, making sure it's nice and comfortable. We're going to hold this one for 1 minute. So inhaling, arms up, shoulders down. And exhale, forward fold, and breathe. When we stay in the holds for a little bit longer, we start to activate the fascia. Fascia is the interconnective tissue between, within among, whatever preposition of location you got, fascia will be found there. So as we continue to breathe, feeling that wave rolling along the spine, reminding yourself you have a balloon in your belly with every breath, your physical body becomes softer, lighter, lifting up, up and away. With every exhale, releasing any tightness or tension that you may find in the body, and let it go with your breath. Release. It does not belong to you. It was not designed to live in you. In you, it causes nothing but disease. Both positive and negative, by the way. And when you are ready, on your next inhale, slowly lifting up, opening the leg. We'll come into our half ninja, so planting that foot down, opening the opposite leg. And if this is good for you, stay here. It's a variation of our thinker position, and that's a meditative position. We're also starting to activate the pelvic floor, which has other creative generations as well. If you're able to come into a prayer position, please do. And if you're able to come into more of a ninja balancing position, trying to keep both feet flat, you're also welcome. Several variations, of course, with any of these flows. Do what's comfortable, do what feels good. And exhale, coming down. Let's drop that front leg down. So again, if this is tight, put something under your bum on the leg, the side of the long leg. Okay, you don't want to be hyperextending. You don't want to be stretching or twisting anything. And this is a back bend. So let's exhale, slowly walking ourselves back. This is a beautiful place to be. A lot of benefits here. You're also getting the nice openness in the chest, relaxing the internal organs, and relaxing that part of the thoracic spine that carries so much weight. Not only the physical weight of the body, but the weight, the heaviness, the stress of our, all of these internal organs living in here. That's a highly responsible job. It's our job. So we have to keep this place free from stress. If you'd like to come down a little more, you're welcome. We are going to stay here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly starting to come back. And 0 when you're ready, using the elbows, lifting and shifting the weight. Up, 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 and opposite leg. So again, making sure you're lined up, finding those angles, those 90 degrees, and then exceed the 90 degrees just a touch and fold into that. Feel the length coming in the front hip flexor. Use your block. Stay here if you like. And if you really want to make this a little bit more intense, you could just kind of hang out here, do a monkey lunge. Otherwise, let's exhale. We are going to hold this for 1 minute, ladies and gentlemen. So find your place of comfort and come into the pose at what is your edge? Your edge is 70% of your full capacity. Find this place and stay here with stillness, with focus, and with your breath. These combined will release. They change the chemistry of your body.
just over 30 seconds. Or of course, you may have been in here a little bit longer. And of course, if at any time you feel discomfort, come out of the pose or come back off of it and find your edge again. Oftentimes, we are not comfortable because we are not living on our edge, be it physical, mental, spiritual, or otherwise. On your next inhale, shifting the weight, walking the hands back, lifting the front foot, and exhale, knee to the nose. We're going to hold this for 5 deep breaths. Relax the shoulders, that's 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. We're going to hold it for just a little bit longer. Just a little bit longer. Okay, focus, everyone. And on your next inhale, when you're ready, we're going to slowly lift up, turn the body, and do the side gate on the opposite side. So lengthening that side leg, opposite foot. The edge really takes your focus. Arms are down in front of us. If it is your right leg that it's out, then your right arm is up. Twisting, stacking the shoulders. Looking just past the point of the fingers. Exhale, switching your arms, twisting, lifting, balancing, breathing. And where is your mind? Your mind is on the outer edge of your left.